Go. All right, so this is a fairly hot topic, as we know, using AI in real estate. It's using AI in real estate is a tool that can uh, really help us with efficiency and increase productivity by taking tasks that could sometimes take hours and bring them down to minutes and seconds. So I'm not certainly not an expert in AI, but I have been doing some research and I'm learning more every day. And I want to share with you what I've learned so far. For starters, AI is just a branch of computer science. It's not self-aware, it's not intelligent, it's just essentially scouring the internet for answers to your questions and response to prompts as they're given. So, it's we're not at that apocalypse level yet where the robots are taking over, but there's a lot of great stuff we can do with it. First things first, I want to put this disclosure out here. AI again is not self-aware. Whatever it tells us, it needs to be taken at face value. It it's I've heard someone say that it's basically like a 13-year-old genius. It's very intelligent, it knows a lot, but it still lacks experience and wisdom. It does make mistakes, so there are certain things that you're going to have to fact check, but it can answer things in an incredibly convincing way. So just be aware of that. Depending on what kind of questions you're asking. So there's my disclosure. In case you believe everything they say, don't yell at me. So essentially, we've got two basic forms of AI that are more relevant in real estate right now. You've got your basic chat box, and then you've got AI agents. A chat box would be the equivalent of, like a Chat GPT, Copilot, or Gemini, and they all kind of work similarly. You ask it questions, it produces answers. You can ask it, to elaborate on things. It can, give you more, elaborate answers and specify. A chat box is basically just something to type messages into and get answers. As opposed to an AI agent, takes things a little bit further. It can almost act as an assistant to you. And an AI agent right now, I believe, starts around $200 a month for the Microsoft version. And for most of us, it's not going to be worth spending that money. It will likely, reduce in price over time as well. But essentially, what an AI agent is going to do is it can do tasks for you. You can, give it, tasks, and it will monitor things and it will, respond to things. So, for example, you might be able to type into, tell an AI agent to, go to 123 Main Street in the MLS and reduce it by $10,000, or monitor my email accounts. And if I get a incoming lead, please, respond to that lead, or anything like that. It's just going to do what you ask it to do, with limitations, of course, but it's going to continue getting smarter and smarter. I have heard that people that are using chatbox and AI agent can increase their productivity by 100 to 300%, once you start getting good with it. So, the biggest thing is just knowing what it can do with it. And as you start learning what you can do with these chatbots and AI agents, you're just going to start thinking of more things to do. For example, here's a random example that just happened to me. Um, I've got a little Yorkie that's been shaking, and he had a couple of symptoms. I typed the symptoms into chat box and asked it what's wrong with my Yorkie, and it suggested that my Yorkie probably has a UTI. So we brought him to the vet yesterday, and the vet said, "Oh no, he's just a little dog. Little dogs shake. It's nervous. Nothing to worry about." And we pressed him a little bit harder and suggested, "Well, can you at least test for a UTI?" And sure enough, the vet found that he had a UTI, and now he's on 3 medications. So, in that particular case, using AI was pretty beneficial to me. So. It's little things. It doesn't have to just be real estate related. It can be, really anything in your day-to-day life. So like I said, there are kind of these three basic platforms that you would probably end up using. I don't specifically prefer one over the other. If you have Windows computer, you already have Copilot built into the bottom left-hand corner. Of your operating system. In any Google products like Gmail, you already have Gemini built into both your phone and your email account. And then ChatGPT is just a website you'd have to go to start using that. And just to give you a quick little side note, this picture right here I created with ChatGPT. I just typed into the chat box, make me a picture of a house coming out of a laptop. And this is what it produced for me. And if I had wanted to, I could have asked it to make a different one, or remove the trees, add some flowers, and it would have done that for me. So great marketing tool. Anyone have any questions before I keep going on? All right. So we've got Mike and Mark in our Right Choice office have been producing their own AI headshots, and it's pretty hilarious, some of them. So, essentially you can, there are a whole bunch of websites out there that can convert any basic photo into a headshot for you. And it's a lot less money than using a photographer, and you can get a lot more from it. So, essentially what you do is you upload your picture, and you can pick from different options. So, if you want to if you want a headshot of yourself giving a speech in front of thousands of people, you can do that. If you want a headshot of yourself in the gym, it can do that. Obviously, you've got your professional versions here. So it's pretty neat tool for producing a headshot quickly if you need it. For me, the first way that I started using AI was to create listing remarks. Listing remarks for me has been an extremely daunting task. I'm great at selling real estate, but when it comes to puffing up a property or writing the remarks, I always struggled with that. So what I did here with Gemini is I just wrote, write me the real estate remarks for a single family home with water views, a pool, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, vaulted ceilings, impact windows, renovated 2-car garage. And obviously, I could have continued to go on. And this is the nice, remarks that it came up with. Welcome to paradise. This stunning 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, single family home offers breathtaking water views and resort style living. The open floor plan features vaulted ceilings, creating a bright and airy atmosphere. And by the way, if you don't like any part of this, you can just write into the bottom, rewrite this, or write it shorter, write it longer, or rewrite this, but don't include resort style living, and it will produce a similar product or a completely different product depending on what you want it to do. And it also is learning. So if you write certain things that you're looking for, let's say you want some humor in here, you can say rewrite this with some humor. It will start to get to know what you like as an individual and start reproducing that regularly. So anyway, the renovated interior boasts modern finishes and fixtures throughout. Impact windows provide peace of mind and energy efficiency. Relax and entertain by your private pool or take in the serene water views from your patio. I would have never thought to write any of this. So that's great use of it right off the bat. There's every single one of us could start using this. Um, Another thing people have been using it for is producing lists and goals. So for example, if you are, here's one way we could have used it. We've got three office coordinators down here in Southwest Florida. I asked each of them to produce a list of what they do daily, weekly, and monthly. What I could have then done is taken those three lists, uploaded them into Gemini or ChatGPT, and said, combine these three lists into one list, and remove any redundancies. And it would have popped out a beautiful looking admin task list just in seconds. Where if I task a person to do that, it probably would have taken them half a day, rather than 5 seconds. So this is one that I saw someone do the other day. They said, give me a monthly plan to sell 12 houses in 12 months. And it gave me this basic list, which, by the way, if I kept scrolling down, this just went on for a couple pages. I could have then said, okay, now give me a month to month to-do list, give me a weekly to-do list, give me a daily to-do list, and it would have given us some pretty awesome plans. And of course you can modify this. If you're going after the luxury market, you could say, specify that you're looking for luxury market sales. Email summarization. This is something that I've been using also. If you use Gmail, you have this button right here at the top left corner of each of your emails. And essentially what you could do is ask Gemini to summarize these 10 emails into bullet points over here. So, if you've got a customer or, a friend that, likes to write you books for emails, and sometimes you get several book type emails daily from these people. And, there's, maybe 5 people going around and around. And, might take you a solid hour or two to just, wrap your head around what everyone's saying. You can just summarize the emails into bullet points, and kind of get a basic idea quickly of what's going on, and what you need to start inputting into these responses. So I find this pretty handy, especially if you get a lot of emails daily like I do. Anyone have any questions before I move on? Or any input? Anyone have any AI inputs of how you've been using it? All right.
I used it for my dating profile.
Oh, there you go. That's perfect.
It's interesting what it says. Let me tell you, I'm like, oh, I am that person.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good idea.
Yeah. Well, a dating profile, I mean, we're salespeople, and I guess a dating profile is just kind of like listing an MLS listing, only it's yourself. Gonna make sure you've got the right pictures and right comments in there. All right, so this is not one that I, really want to, push too much, but I've been in a situation where I go out and I'll do 5 showings with a customer, an investor, and every single time we walk into a property, how much will this rent for? And it's like, of course I can't come up with those numbers immediately. But if you plug in, what's the rent value of a single family home in Southwest Cape Coral with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, pool, canal, 2,000 square feet, it can start giving you some ballpark ranges. And if it pulls information from a source like Zillow, it's going to tell you the reference. So, I would obviously, always encourage you to really pull comps to figure out what the real rent value would be. But, again, if you're doing five houses, a five-house tour, and someone's asking for ballpark rent value right on the spot, thinking that you just know everything in the world, ChatGPT does know everything in the world. So ask, your AI, chat box for some suggestions on the spot. One thing that I just did with one of my property management customers is it was a really hard property to get rent values on. So I could only find about probably 3 comps in the
Is anybody
MLS.
here? I'm in a meeting right now. I'll be out. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, I ended up going to rentometer.com, plugged in some information there, and that populated a rent range. I asked ChatGPT for a rent range. I went to Zillow, and then I pulled my comps from the MLS. And I basically just took the combination of all of those sources to figure out, a ballpark value on, suggested rent range. And surprisingly, they all came in relatively close to each other. So I just sent, the source of information to my customer from all of those, locations that I checked, just to, let them know where I came up with the value. There we go. So marketing is a, really fantastic part of a chat box that you can use. In this particular case, I wrote, give me a picture of a unicorn flying over a house with a for sale sign in the front yard. Unicorns are very popular in my house. I've got a couple of little girls, so immediately went to that. But this is what it populated when I popped this out. This is just a snippet from my screen, so this is an exact replication of what I typed in and what I received. Now, had I wanted this unicorn to be purple, I could have then wrote, make the unicorn purple, and it would have changed that picture for me. If I just didn't like this picture altogether, I could have just typed in, make me another one. And, seconds later, I'd have a different one to pick from. So, great for marketing, especially if you've got some unique properties. And these are not copywritten, so you can use this now. And also, speaking of copyrights, I'm not aware of any kind of disclosures that we need to give to people when we're using AI. Obviously, if we're using MLS photos, we can't false represent our listings. So, that's something to keep in mind. For example, yesterday I did a showing of a property. The listing photos had gray wood tile planks throughout the property. We get there and it's carpet. So they, completely false represented the listing to get us through the door. We obviously can't do that. Or if we do something like that, it needs to be extremely well clarified. But in other ways, aside from the MLS, you don't really have to disclose that you're using AI for anything. So this was a cool thing that I did the other day. My third grader came home with some math homework. And just to see what would happen, I took a picture of her math problem with my camera. I uploaded the picture into ChatGPT and said, solve this equation. And I got a beautiful answer out of the bottom. So obviously a correct answer. But what's cool about it is that you can take pictures of things and upload them. So for example, if you've got a document that was handed to you and you need it digitized, you can take a picture of that document, upload it into Gemini or ChatGPT, whatever you want to use, and get that converted into Word form for you. Or you can just take pictures of, questions and get an answer. So here's another one I did. You can cautiously, and I want to underline cautiously, get suggested wordings for contracts. So in this particular case, I wrote, right wording for a real estate addendum with the seller paying $10,000 in closing costs, repairing all roof damage, and fixing the leaky sink. This actually created the full addendum. Obviously, we've got our own form, so we don't need to, take the addendum part of this. So, essentially what I would suggest is you could just copy and paste the bullet points or numbers, paste them back into your actual addendum and then modify it however you'd like to. So, you may probably won't find yourself using the exact wording that it uses, but it will certainly save us some time in thinking about what to write. And what I loved about this is that it put a lot of extra information in here that probably the average agent may not have thought to write in there. So, for example, all repairs shall be performed by a licensed and insured roofing contractor, and any necessary permits shall be obtained. The repairs shall be completed in a workmanlike manner and in compliance with applicable building codes. I mean, who would have wrote that? So, great stuff in here. If you just need some suggestions on how to write an addendum or a contract, or even an email for that matter. I also liked this asking for seller to provide receipts of proof of repairs upon request, and also a follow-up inspection before closing. All right, so here's another cool one that I think we could all be using. I asked, my AI chat box, I think this was ChatGPT. What part of this contract says the property must be in the same condition at closing as it was when the contract was executed? And then I uploaded our as-is contract, and within seconds, ChatGPT found the exact location of, for paragraph 12B, through inspections and re-inspections. So, if you're in a case where you've got, say, a builder contract that's 300 pages long and, complicated to read and understand, you can upload that right into ChatGPT or Gemini, whatever you want to use, and find some terms of a contract, pretty quickly. This should not replace an attorney, but if you need some answers really quickly, this would be a scenario where if you've got a 300-page builder contract that you're not familiar with, it could take you half a day to find, exactly what you're looking for, where, these programs can, take that down to seconds. Has anyone used this before for this?
No.
Yeah. I've heard of people using it to ask advice. I was in a class recently where a realtor used it to help her tiptoe through a confrontational negotiation between buyer and seller. In her case, it gave her, such solid advice that they were able to push through. Here's one I just typed in. I'm a realtor. The tenant in my listing won't let us in for a showing. What should I do? And it gave me this, checklist of things that, I could go into. I could have asked it to, expand a little bit more on, a particular topic. I could ask for, more suggestions. You could ask it, how would you suggest I approach this with the seller? How should I approach this with the tenant? And it will give you more information. It remembers what you're talking about. So even if you went, let's say you start typing other things, other questions, and then you want to, circle back to something, you can say, hey, remember what we were talking about, the tenant, it's going to say yes. And then you can ask more questions about it and it'll keep going. So it's, you can almost talk to it like it's a human that has, memory of the conversation that you were, previously having. You can get graphs and statistics from AI. For example, if you want some, neighborhood statistics or local statistics to your hometown, you can, populate that quickly. Ask it how many, what's the average days on market in Naples, Florida. Matter of fact, let's ask it. So there you go. And you get your sources, which is the nice thing. And if you click on these sources, it will bring you right to the website. Another thing you could do, show me the open houses in Naples, Florida this weekend. Probably going to populate a Zillow website, realtor.com, something like that.
Jerry,
Hey, how are you?
buddy.
Okay,
What's going on?
I'm in a meeting.
No change.
It's okay.
Take care.
All right, good to see you. All right.
I think ChatGPT was listening to Jerry.
Sorry.
That's okay. I'm just messing with you. All right. Well, this went down to specific homes, but yesterday when we asked it, it actually brought us to the Zillow and Redfin websites that indicate which websites are. So you can actually then ask it, specify what you're looking for. And this is just the free version. It's my understanding that the paid versions work a little bit quicker. But here you go. Here's the link with 233 open houses coming up this weekend. So here's a graph that you can produce for marketing as well. Let's say you're a property manager like Judy, and you want to convert some of our tenants into buyers. You could take one of these graphs. Make me a graph showing the average homeowner net worth versus renter net worth over the past 10 years. These spell out a pretty impressive picture. Explaining why a renter might want to shift gears in the near future. The average renter seems to be worth about $10,000 as opposed to the homeowners, being closer to the $300 to $400 range. And then you could follow up with this in the same marketing materials. Send them some information about homeowner down payment assistance programs. Okay, well, this is how much you could be worth if you are a homeowner. I understand that you have limited funds. Here's a lender that I know that works with the down payment assistance programs. If you wanted to, you could probably own a home with less money out of pocket than signing a new lease, putting down first month's, last month's, and security deposit. We can use these angles to improve our business and get more sales. Real estate bios. This is kind of like what Rebecca was saying, creating a bio for her dating website. Same thing here with your real estate bio. What I'm probably going to do, and I need to jump on sooner than later, is creating an updated real estate bio, because the one that I typed up for myself is probably not going to be nearly as good as the one AI produces for me. This is what I typed in there, just a little bit brief information about myself, and this is what was populated for me. I could ask it to, shorten this, make it longer, add some humor, and it will do whatever I ask it to do for me, limitlessly. One thing I've been working on also is making sure that all of my internet platforms are, similar. You know, if you've got a banner in your, you know, Facebook, you know, page, it should be the same banner that's on your, you know, Zillow and Realtor.com pages. Your headshot should be similar across all the boards, you know, particularly with your Google business page. That way, you know, when people are searching you on the internet, it's really easy to find you and you look very consistent with your marketing. So video editing is a big thing that you probably see all over social media or YouTube for that matter. You know, what you'll probably see is people with videos where as they're talking, I know, you know, Alex Vidal with, you know, ERA, for example, when he posts his social media videos, he's using AI editing and you can see the captions as he's speaking, just kind of like the words are jumping out at you as he speaks. Another thing you can do with it, you can remove the ums and the pauses from your videos. You can, you know, if you're walking, you can, you know, have it reduce the shaking in the videos. You can put some filters in there. This is, you know, this would be, you know, probably a paid program that you'd have to find online. This would not be you know, something free. But if you do a lot of social media marketing, it's probably worth the money. I'm not sure the pricing, maybe $15 a month. So it's worth it if you're, you know, doing a lot of marketing online. AI chat box are a popular thing on our websites. So for example, I've got a CRM that has an AI chat box on it. And as buyers start typing questions into the chat box, it will speak back to them as if it's a human. And you know, you've probably done the same thing on a website, you know, maybe a support line, and you have no idea whether you're talking to an actual person or a AI chat box. So, you know, this again can leverage yourself. You know, if someone has some questions and goes to your website at, you know, 1 in the morning, they've got someone attending your website and answering some brief questions for you and just kind of creating some dialogue so that, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you can jump back into the driver's seat and start talking to them. And you know, this is kind of similar to what we've been talking about already with the chat box learning and then, you know, prompts. You know, the way that you're going to get you know, these chat boxes to work best for you is to continuously and regularly use them because it's going to learn your the way you speak. It's going to learn you know, that you're a real estate agent very quickly. So it's going to start to keep that in mind as it communicates with you and you know, produces content for you. So in the best thing you can do, of course, is challenge challenge prompts. So again, if it populates that real estate bio for you, and you're not crazy about what it wrote, you can write in there, you know, don't ever say, you know, that particular thing in a bio for me. And it will remember that and continue to create more bios for you as you ask, but not include that information. So that's pretty much it for today. Does anyone have any questions?
Just had a quick comment.
Sure.
Of course, I've gone to classic FGCU on this and all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that we should disclose if we are using AI. Reason and rationality is this. Let's just say another agent asked the same questions we do. Let's say they had a prior listing and the words are the same, just like they do photos. They could accuse the agent of copying something from their prior listing.
Yeah. I mean, if you'd like to do that, absolutely. That's a good point. I think, you know, like I said, it does kind of learn and adapt to your style of speaking. So, you know, you could ask the same question, you know, 5 times and get, you know, 5 different answers from it. I'd say that, you know, it's probably not a huge concern, but if you want to put that disclosure in there, you know, as they say in real estate school, disclose. If you want to put that in there, go for it. you know, you can type that in, you know, into the remarks, I suppose, you know, produced by AI. But you know, I personally won't. I want everyone to think I'm the genius that I am.
But you are, see?
I see Mark's in here. Mark claims he knows nothing about AI, but if he's got any suggestions as well, love to hear from him.
Oh, sorry, I was trying to find my unmute button. But yes, I know nothing about AI. I also don't have a
Yeah.
truck that could help people move things. That's two
Yes.
facts. But but with that, to Bev's question, I guess it's all perspective of opinion, but paraphrasing is definitely different than plagiarizing. And I think AI aids in gathering information from other people's listings to generate relative context to the attributes of the property. For instance, if one agent claims that it's X and that X is still there for the next agent to advertise that it has X, I think that's where AI could really help you paraphrase instead of plagiarize to have a better description. But there's a lot of tools out there to eliminate plagiarism or copying previous texts when you're doing at least the property description. I think Greg mentioned ChatGPT. I see we're working off Gemini. There's probably another dozen to 2 dozen other chat platforms that could aid in. I'll be honest, I mean, when I get a new listing these days, I write me a description about X, Y, and Z. And I'll go to 3 or 4 different, I guess we can call them chat bots. And I'll take all 3 or 4 of those just to be safe and have the AI actually plagiarize or paraphrase, not plagiarize, paraphrase those 3 or 4 documentations, and it ends up giving you a pretty decent write-up that will definitely help you stand apart. So I saw the concern with, I have actually one property that was a perfect example of information it pulled from another write-up. And I actually had a neighboring seller reach out to me due to it. And he's like, oh, you used the exact wording. I'm like, no, I used similar wording. But you wrote it well and it was a great concept. So I borrowed it. And he's actually talking with me to list his property because I sold his neighbors.
Nice. All right, thanks, Mark.
Greg,
Anyone else have any questions or comments?
Greg, I think Pamela had a question for you in the chat
Oh,
about
thanks.
where you got your bot for your website.
Oh, that was just something that was included in the program. So it's Real Geeks CRM. So you know the CRM itself has AI integration into it. So it can help engage it. And as a matter of fact, I know we're enrolling some upgrades to our Moxie accounts as well at ERA. And our new Moxie account has AI integration into it. So similar to my program with Real Geeks, it essentially will monitor what people are doing on your website, what properties it's looking at, and it will start to produce suggested listings to those customers, those buyers, based on what they're looking at within your website. And try to engage with your customers. So that's what I'm using, and I know this new Moxie upgrade is going to have some similar aspects to it. And I believe Mark actually is aware of some different extensions you can put into websites as well. So even if you don't have say the Moxie upgrade or Real Geeks or a program that already has those that built into it, I believe that there's a pretty simple way to add a extension to your website or an upgrade to any website that would populate a chat box for you. So. Okay. All right, awesome. Well, I think that's probably all we have for today. Thank you all for attending, and let me know if you have any questions down the road. Always happy to help.
Bye.
All right, thank you. Take care.
You too now.